So do you think it is possible to like edit your mind out?
Well, I think the home edit is so popular at the moment that I thought, what about mind edit? Do a mind edit.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic.
It would certainly clear a lot of clutter.
It certainly would.
Join us in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters,
the podcast that will leave you anxiety-free and smiling.
So here we go. Right, yeah, mind edit.
I was just thinking that like the home edit's so popular and it's really simple, really, isn't it? It's organising the home in a way that's functional for you and your family or whoever you live with.
Yes, yeah.
So what about if we did that with our minds? How amazing would that be?
But like in the home edit, like they start off in one particular room, don't they?
Yeah.
And so how can you kind of do that with your mind?
Well, I think with your mind, you would start off with certain areas of your life. So you would say maybe start off with the most important, which would be the people closest to you. So like your family, your friends. Yeah, relationships.
Oh, that's really clever of you. Oh, right, divide it into like areas.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's feasible.
Yeah.
So like edit out your relationship.
Well, yes, edit out any clutter that's causing you problems. So any people that you may be not particularly enjoying at the moment because they're causing you trouble, just
trouble.
Edit them out.
You people say, half of people in my life cause me trouble, but I can't edit them out because they're like family members or like friends that are all like family. What do you mean by edit them out? I mean, it's not that easy, is it?
No, I think if you're closest, the people like you live with, you can't edit them out, can you?
No.
But you can edit certain
unless you
things.
Want to really break up or something.
Yeah, unless you realise that they really are, what they say, toxic to you, and then you can consider it.
Yes.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Sometimes there's no point putting up with a situation that's not doing you any good and it's actually harmful to you.
Yeah. I think you're right, yeah. I think you can edit them out to a certain extent, but like even with family members that are really, you're very close to, say your mum, your dad, somebody that you don't necessarily want to edit out, but you can like, I don't know, I don't want to say contain, but you can like...
put them in containers.
No. Ship them off. Off you go. No, what I mean is like you can not let them invade your space too much.
So you mean you can set your boundaries?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, you can set boundaries and you can edit out the things that aren't working for you. So say if having family meetings every Sunday or something, I don't know.
Yeah, like Sunday dinner.
I remember when I was younger with my husband, his mum used to want us to come every Sunday for dinner. But that moment in my life, I was working as an air hostess, flying around like crazy. I hardly ever got to see him. And if by pure chance I was at home on that Sunday, I didn't necessarily want to go and eat Sunday lunch, even if it was delicious lasagna with my mother-in-law.
Because it took the whole day.
God, now I would do anything to eat that lasagna. I do. I mean, she's passed away. I loved her so much. I mean, God, I'd give anything to have one of those Sunday lunches now. But at the time, I didn't necessarily want to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. So in the end, we kind of edited it out. We said, look, we're not coming every Sunday. It's just too much for us. We want to have our time, our relationship time. And so we didn't.
That was important for your relationship at the moment.
Super important.
Yeah.
Super important.
So sometimes it's like sacrificing one thing for the other because it was something that you wanted to do at the time, but now do you regret not going now?
No, I only miss her because she's no longer with us.
Yeah, but you don't actually regret that.
No, that was essential for me and my husband at the time. It was essential to have that time together.
Exactly.
And just do nothing or like just eat pancakes at 12 o'clock in the morning and stay at home in bed all day. That was really necessary for us. So, no.
I think that's the important thing to like focus on. So you when you're doing this mind edit, and you're maybe looking at, the people that you can maybe restrict contact with.
Yeah.
Just look in the long term, will you regret that in the future? Just sort of think ahead, or is it?
Yeah, you don't want to be
You want to
mean
be
about
ecological,
it. No,
don't you?
yeah. I mean, we just said, look, we hardly ever see each other, so if you don't mind, we won't come every Sunday, but we can come once a month. If I can make it, if my schedule makes it, we'll come once a month, and that's what we used to do. And then, like my husband, he would see her, during the week. He would go, but it wasn't like this whole family thing where all the brothers and the classical family dinner. It wasn't like that. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. It's about
setting boundaries,
setting boundaries
to keep you free from anxiety.
To keep you sane.
Yeah, to keep you sane, yeah.
And free from anxiety. Because if it's going to make you really anxious going there, because you're not going to feel as if you have enough quality time with your partner, it's going to be, in the end, it's not a good thing, is it?
No, it's not a good thing at all. No.
So it's a bit the same like having too much clutter in your house, isn't it? You don't want to do that.
No, it is the same thing, yeah. So you can edit out the relationship parts in a nice and kind way.
Yeah.
And then you can also think about other areas of your life that need editing.
That even in the relationship, things that you don't necessarily want to do either. Like maybe you might be doing something with your partner that's no longer helpful for you. Say like your partner might want to go out, eat out a lot. We have that with some of our clients.
Yes, that's really quite common actually.
A lot, and yet they want to stay healthy and look after their weight or lose weight because they've been told by their GP, their doctors that they're overweight or whatever, and that they need for health reasons.
Yeah.
They need to lose weight, and yet the partners insist on going out for drinks and dinner. It sounds lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate. But you might not want to be doing it at that time.
No.
Because it's not respectful for you. But your partner might not be thinking about you. But you have to think about yourself. I think.
Have to think about yourself. You're right. Yeah. And you have to say, no, I can't do that at the moment. Yeah. I'm editing that all this eating out because it's causing, ultimately it's going to cause you stress because you might have fun when you're actually there and drinking and eating, and then afterwards you might think, oh no,
that set me back a week. I lost a couple of kilos or whatever.
It can cause anxiety, can't it?
It does cause a lot.
Because when you don't feel as if you're respecting your body in a nice, kind, loving way, in the end, you get anxious about it.
Well, you're not taking care of yourself, are
you? No.
And also, that comes to mind, another thing comes to mind when you just said that, is that also a lot of people, they're not on the same page financially.
I know.
A lot of couples.
Oh
so
my gosh.
One partner might want to go out and eat out a lot and spend loads of money, where the other one's trying to save.
I know.
And so if you're the one
We've all had that experience.
If you're trying to save and you don't want to spend all that money going out, maybe you can edit going out as well. Or compromise, edit half of it out.
You can though.
There's lots of areas in your life.
The thing is, you've got to be assertive about this kind of editing because same as when you do the home edit,
a lot of opposition.
There's going to be a lot of clutter in your mind, a lot of opposition. So you've got to just make a nice, kind decision without any kind of anger, but just being very respectful to yourself.
Man, the way you said anger.
Why?
As if it's coming from the heart. Yuka's looking at you, touching her heart.
No, because, you don't want to be angry about it. And because then you can be hurtful.
Oh, yes.
You can be hurtful to other people.
Yeah. And this might be an accumulation of things that have been going on for ages and you've just been ignoring.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you decide to do this mind edit.
Yes, exactly. And the other person, the other people in your life have no idea what you're on about. Well, what's happened? What, you don't love me anymore? You don't like to hang out with me? Well, what is it? Well, what's happening to our Friday night pizzas? Why don't you want to come? Why aren't you doing this? It's a whole little thing going on here and nobody else knows what you're doing.
And it's all about change, isn't it? People find it hard
they hate change. And we know that you yourself hate change. Mm-hmm. However, if you are experiencing anxiety and you think that doing this mind editing could be helpful to you, then you've got to really be quite assertive about it. Yeah, you got to make that choice and just say, I'm going to go ahead with this now. And edit out that stuff that gets you stressed. I mean, you can do the same. We've been speaking about in a relationship, you know, with your friends, with your loved ones. You have to do that at work sometimes as well.
Yeah, that's the next one, work.
You know, you can start editing out those colleagues that are causing you unnecessary woes and stress and accumulation of worry. Because there are some people that are particularly hyper stressed.
But sometimes you can't because you have to work with them.
Yeah, but sometimes you can, like, sort of, I don't want to say teach them, but like, you know, when you receive their email and you know that email is going to cause you some stress, that it's going to cause you some mental stress, and then it'll probably turn into some physical problem because it might make you actually get a headache, or, you know. So what I'm saying is that you see the email from that certain recipient, you can wait to receive that mail. I think if it's possible, not read it. Yeah. Simple as that, you know. But made it all sound so. Yeah, you cannot read it. Yeah, for a while.
Yeah,
you know,
until you're ready.
Until you're ready, exactly,
to handle.
Yeah, you might say, "No, I'm never mentally ready to receive their emails," but you will be. Yeah. You will be.
There will be a time in the day.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be like, in a certain way, you're also educating those people. There's a fly here. You're educating those people that they don't, you know, you don't have to answer them like within the next 5 minutes or next hour. They can wait. They can wait, yeah.
And then maybe be really nice to them in your email.
No, you can be delightful to them.
And then they'll be nice back as well. Usually when you're delightful to someone, they usually answer and they just kind of apologise.
Well, yeah. I was thinking about, you know, my son as well now, because he's dealing with this vintage light aspect, and he's also hiring to film for film prop. And he was getting so anxious about this, you know, all these film studios coming to him, asking him and sending him emails, WhatsApp messages, asking about, is this light available? Because there are all these vintage lights. Can we have it rewired? We're coming in 2 hours now. And the other day I just saw him like a bundle of anxiety. And I said, look, darling, you know, they've just asked you for this, you know, like literally 2 hours ago. I think you should just come with me. We'll have a nice relaxing coffee. Coffee's not relaxing, but we'll sit down a minute. And then when they come, you can just say to them, hey, you know, you're going to have to wait to get these, to get the stuff that you've ordered. You'll have to wait because there wasn't enough time. And so he I saw him actually taking his breath. He was like, oh, really? I go, yeah, just tell them nicely. And then they came to pick up the stuff and they waited. Yeah. And they waited, and then they went off to a coffee bar to wait as well. Really quite happy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just simple, isn't it? It's communication.
I know, this sounds ridiculous, you know, but at the same time, this happens, I think, to all of us in our working lives.
No, I think it happens particularly if you're like, you want to please. Right. Like if you're like a people pleaser.
Or you're just at the beginning of your career, like my son is. Yeah.
Because you haven't had that experience to pace yourself.
You're right. Yeah. That is so true.
Afterwards, with experience
comes okay, yes. Sure, I'll get it done. Can you just hang on a second? Yeah. And you're more chill. yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that's like a mind edit for work. So you can postpone emails. You can. What else could you do? Like at work?
If there's a particular aspect of your work that really gets on your nerves, you can maybe ask for a change of direction as well. You know,
that's a good idea.
To change. Because just because you're stuck in a job, it doesn't mean that there might be something in that job, within that job, that you can just move to the side or to, you know, in front, or do something a bit different.
So you're not necessarily stuck. No. Sometimes...
So even if you don't want to look for another job,
but you can stay within that area.
You can stay within that area and maybe go and speak to your manager or your boss or whoever it is and say, look, I would like to look into this. Can I have some leeway to look into this or do this part of the job? And I think if you're proactive, in the end, even if they might say, well, at the moment, there's nothing for you, then you say, well, can you keep me in mind if anything opens up, if someone leaves or if anything opens up? And I think that starts a conversation.
It definitely starts a conversation. And I think it makes you become like unstuck in your job as well.
Because at least you're asking for things. You're not just sort of stagnant there.
Yeah, and they know you're like looking for that small change to improve. I think in the end they appreciate you, because if you say, look, I've been doing this for a certain amount of time and I think I've mastered it, you can then say, is there anything else that perhaps I could do, within that company? And you'll probably be surprised at how they might think, oh.
Or sometimes you might be the kind of creative person. If you're listening to this, you're probably quite creative, and you might be thinking, I could do this for the company and change it. And so, I think I've already said this once, that there's a story going around. I don't know where I heard it.
No.
Of this person that was working for a paint company, I think. And they were very creative, so they did a little video while they were at work, showing the skills, and put it on TikTok, and it got millions and millions of views. And then they showed it to their boss, and the boss said, "Wow, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? Wasting time, company time, doing this kind of rubbish." And
that's a generation gap, though, isn't it? And maybe they don't realise.
Yeah, they didn't realise. But instead of looking into it and being a bit more open-minded, because he was saying, "Look, this has brought us so many customers this month. Look, I could do more of these." I mean, it was just, in the end, what he did was he left and he started his own paint company.
By paint, what do you mean?
Like
painting
decor,
the house. Like home edit. Wow. So maybe sometimes it doesn't go so well in the company, but then it gets your mind. It sets you free. It gets your mind, like the juices start flowing. You become more open-minded in a way, and you realize that you have skills that you might not be using, and maybe when you don't use your skills at times, that causes frustration and anxiety as well.
And I think also, like in the home edit, they actually tell you, to get those lovely containers, clear containers and everything that you can see your stuff in. Also, if like in that example, you were gaining something by doing something different. You're gaining something. So look at your skill set too, and you could maybe add to your skill set. You would to do this mind edit. You might think, in order to do this mind edit, I need to have a few extra skills so that I can go ahead.
Right. Okay. So you can acquire those skills. Yeah. There's one fly.
It's actually gone on your finger now.
You're joking.
No, you'll see it if you're watching us on YouTube.
Anyway, it's buzzing around.
It's attracted, I think, to the flowers on the dress.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. Yeah, this mind editing. I think, wouldn't it be great if we could just do this, like every day, really?
Well, I think also another thing is to edit out, is if we've done relationships, work, what else is there?
Play. But, I mean, who wants to edit out play?
But you can add to it. You can add the containers.
Well done. Get more containers for play. Yeah, playtime. It used to be my favourite time at school.
You might like to have a sport or a hobby or something creative, painting, crochet, knitting.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Walk in the park, reading. Yeah.
Because these all add to the quality of your life, don't they? They add to the quality of your mind in the end.
They certainly do. We forget about that, I think, a lot of the times, don't we?
I think we
the
do.
Playfulness, it's not really a priority, is it? I see on most people's list, when you get up, it's work.
Well, it's at the weekend.
2 days a week.
But one day
if you're lucky.
For cleaning.
Oh God, yeah. I've edited that out. I've tried to. Like, I'm not going to spend all Saturday doing laundry and stuff.
It's only because you found out it's cheap.
It's cheaper at night.
The electric company edited it for you. Because otherwise, if you know Yutka should be on a sunny day, should be washing all Saturday.
I do love washing,
She
but
gets all her washing.
there's something about that clean laundry. Gosh, I love it. I love hanging
how
it
anyone
out.
can go through so many washing machines.
I mean, there's 5 of us though. To be fair,
but
yeah.
still. I did
Okay.
some of. I like what the hotels have done. I think that's an amazing initiative.
Yeah.
I was recently in
What
a
have they
hotel.
done?
Well, before when you used to go to a hotel room, you'd have bathrobes or towels or anything.
You just put them in the bathtub
You
every
just
time.
throw them on the floor, put them in the bathtub,
bathtub.
or be disrespectful with them. But now they teach you to be
To hang it back up
to hang
again.
it up and only put the dirty ones, the ones you really need changing, in the bathtub.
And let's face it, I mean, the time we spend in a hotel, it's normally less than 2 weeks. It's like less than 1 week, isn't it? So you can keep your same bath towel just like you would at home.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to probably wash that bath towel once a week. So I mean, or your bathrobe.
And how much energy does that save? How much cost does it save? It saves so much for the planet as well.
For the planet, definitely, and for the
hotels.
Yeah. Anyway, this is I don't know why we've gone on that.
That's
little
bit of a ramble.
What was that for?
I don't know. Something to do with the washing. Editing out too much. If you've got to edit out too much.
No, it's because we were saying there's not enough
if you're doing too much one thing in one day, edit some of it out.
Edit it out, yeah. And I said I had.
Cut back.
Cut back, yeah. I've cut back. I just do one every night.
Ecco. Saying ecco in Italian. That's right in English. Half of the time we speak Italian here.
We do, yeah, obviously.
We've been living here for so long now that some of it...
some little words are going to creep out. It is hard to just speak only one language for us.
Well, yeah.
As we were born bilingual because our mum was Spanish... So our first language was Spanish, but then really, as soon as we went to school, then we learned English. So now we kind of consider our first language to be English.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
It's much better than the other two.
What, than Spanish and Italian?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the second language would be Italian now because we've been here for so many
Definitely
years.
would be
it was
Spanish, yeah. Yeah.
It's relegated.
It is relegated.
But every now and again, the odd word, because sometimes some words in different countries, in different languages, are more useful, aren't they?
There's just something about them, isn't it? It's like,
easier to just pick from the brain.
Just pick and you just use that word and nothing else is going to explain it.
There's not an equivalent.
There isn't an equivalent.
There is, but not exactly the same.
No, I'm trying to think of one now, but of course they won't come right now. No, there are some that we only use.
Well, like ecco, that's right. Ecco is just so short.
Yes, it is.
Ecco. And then that's right. Look how long it takes to say that's right.
Yeah, ecco is, literally 4 letters.
Yeah. I was thinking it was 3, but it's got 2 C's.
2 C's, yeah. Double C. It's a bit like echo.
Echo.
Yeah, so this mind editing stuff, once you get on board, I think the important thing is that the seed gets in your mind about the idea of mind editing. Once the seed goes in, you'll just notice that it will start growing in certain aspects of your life, the ones that really do need editing, and you'll probably know which ones need to. Because for some of us, it is more the relationships. For some of us, we need to, like we were saying, increase play. Play,
sometimes
fun.
you need to increase your relationships as well.
Yeah, so plus, add some more pluses to that, add some more skills, add some more stuff. But sometimes you do need to decrease it, so yeah.
I'm just thinking I would add some meditation in there.
So you add meditation, add it.
It would have a container for the meditation.
For the meditation.
For the hypnosis.
Yeah. So what are people supposed to do? Listen to hypnosis?
Listen to meditations, hypnosis, or just meditate yourself. Be mindful, because I think already if you start being mindful, then the edit's going to happen naturally. Going to start happening by itself. Well, yes, because you're focusing. Mindfulness helps you focus, doesn't it?
You're focusing more on the present, aren't you? Yeah. the other night I was having these recurring thoughts about work, and it was just continuous. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was telling my mind, I was going, okay, I've understood that, and I will get to it in the morning. You don't have to keep on telling me the same thought.
Well, that's called a recurring thought.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was recurring thoughts, and I thought, gosh,
Recurring unhelpful thoughts, I might add.
It was helpful because it reminded me of something I had to do.
But once,
come on.
We don't need to have it hammering on our door. It's like a nasty person hammering on your door for 100,000 times.
It was like a nagging.
Until you let them in. You have to let it in, I suppose.
I did let it in.
When you have well, then it stopped, didn't it?
No, it didn't stop. What actually helped me is it was heavily raining outside.
So you started.
And I started thinking, okay, I'm going to focus on the sound of the rain as it hits the window pane. So I started first of all, I didn't like that rain because it was making a right racket, and I thought, God, I can't even sleep with this big rain on the window pane.
Rather annoyed.
It was annoying, it was annoying me. But then I thought, no, I'm going to make it, use it to my advantage. So I started listening to it, and then I fell off. I fell asleep. I fell off.
I fell off the bed.
No, I fell asleep. Because everything here, in the English language, you always fall. So you fall in love, you fall asleep. So I fell asleep, yes. Eventually I fell asleep with this, with listening to the sound. So you went
into the mindfulness.
Yeah, so I think that sometimes being mindful, even though
you do have to add that. Definitely.
I know it's easier said than done. And
I think it is easy now because, we have lots of hypnosis.
We do. Yeah.
Recordings on YouTube.
You can listen to ours as well.
Otherwise, you can listen to
anybody's,
whoever you like.
Yeah, there's loads of mindful stuff there that can help you,
Or practice mindfulness. There's so many resources now.
Yeah, you can literally just go and type mindfulness or like on YouTube, and you'll get...
Or meditation.
You'll get
10-minute meditation. 10-minute hypnosis meditation.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be added.
I would add that.
I would definitely add that.
It's helped me so much.
Gosh, yeah, definitely. So you add that, and you take away some of the other stuff that's not useful.
Clear it out.
Clear it out. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, what is this?
Give it away.
This is just clutter in my mind. It's just keeping me busy instead of allowing me to be creative and to actually think new thoughts. It's just, most of the time we're just remembering stuff, but that's different to being creative. And if any of you have ever actually been creative, you know the difference. Sort of like when you're creative, like I remember when we were writing our books, that was a creative process, and that was kind of like really magical in a way, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
It was different to just remembering stuff. Thinking is different. Thinking is different to remembering.
Thinking new things, new thought processes.
Yeah.
That's what's exciting.
Yeah. So I think that if you do find yourself having recurring thoughts, maybe you can say, no, I'm going to think about something completely different now.
Yes.
Or something that you like.
You have to say, okay,
I
hear you. Yourself. You have to say, I hear you, and I'll deal with it if you can. If you can't,
like
what they say, most thoughts that you think are terrible now, in 5 years' time, you'll look past and you'll think, what the hell was I worrying about?
Or you won't even remember them.
Or you won't remember them. But you might remember the time in your life when you were really worried about something.
Yeah.
And then you think, why was I bothered with that in the future?
Exactly, yeah.
We've had life experience now to be able to say that.
We can say that,
what was the problem there? Nothing.
Or even if it was something, but it was out of our control.
Yeah, and you can't do anything.
You can't do anything, yeah. So in the end, you have to accept. I suppose you just tell your mind, okay, I accept that now, and go on.
And I'm freeing myself up to be able to do other things or think nicer thoughts.
I remember there was a psychiatrist that used to say, I can't remember the name, but anyway, he used to say that he would give this kind of the nagging mind a name. He said he would give it...
The wolf or something.
No, not the wolf. No, it was like this person he knew in real life. He said that was like really naggy and really pedantic personality. And so he said he chose that pedantic, he chose that name. So like if he was called Paul, he would give the pedantic part of his mind the name Brian. So he would say, okay.
It's going to be splitting personalities here.
Yeah, but, do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
It was like saying, okay, I hear you, stop it. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Okay, but I mean, it wasn't my idea.
No.
But
I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
I would just, because it's all you in the end, I would just
course
say
it's you.
stop. I would just say, I hear you and I acknowledge you and thank you for letting me know that.
Yes.
It's very nice of you.
Yes. Thank you for
you, mind,
reminding
for
me.
letting me know that. But now I wish to proceed with calm thoughts.
Yes, and I may start thinking about a future holiday or
nice song, put some nice music on.
A memory. Yeah, put music on if you want to. I mean, in my case, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
You can put something on if you want. You don't want to wake.
Yeah, I didn't want to wake my husband up with music. Put my earpods on, go and get them. I couldn't be bothered.
It's easier if you don't have to.
It was easier just to listen to the sound of the rain.
I think if you can self-soothe and you can soothe yourself and just...
You used to do those breathings, didn't you? You used to
Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for a while. Now I always just count back when I need to.
Really?
So if I want to go back to sleep, I just start counting back. 299, 298, 297, 296.
You bore yourself.
Calmly.
Yeah.
No, not bore yourself. I go into a lovely state of calm.
Okay.
Because I've listened to many hypnotic trances, and that's what they do. So I've got old anchors from there. They count you down.
Yeah, I know.
So I've got old anchors, so that's really helpful for me, and it puts me back to sleep.
Yeah.
Wide awake here now while you're listening.
Yes.
And yes, so we dealt with everything, I think.
Well, I think so, because it's adding more fun most of the time to most people's lives. Editing out, can't really think of anything else, but with a mind edit. Are you going to do something?
Skills.
What are you going to do to edit out your mind stuff, your clutter?
My clutter, I haven't really got that much at the moment.
No,
just the recurring thoughts, if I ever have any, just tell them to...
Get lost.
To put it
in a nice way. Go on, thanks. I hear you. I've seen you. I've dealt with you. Go away.
I think organising your day helps as well. If you when you're organising, editing your mind, edit your day out. So organise your day so that you know what you're going to be doing that day. I think that helps.
Isn't that a bit like time management? Yeah, it's kind of,
But keeping on top of things, because I think sometimes if you have like a messy house where you're not keeping on top, because it's all right to do a home edit and then put everything in its place and
for
do
a
everything
couple of
nicely,
weeks,
and then it lasts like 3 weeks, like what you say, or 2 weeks or 1 week, and then it's all gone to pot and everything's all messy again and all over the place. There's no point, is there?
No.
So there's also a discipline in keeping it nice and tidy.
And an enjoyment in keeping it nice and tidy.
Satisfaction.
You get a lot of enjoyment out of putting everything back in its place and keeping things lovely and tidy.
Well, you get the benefits, don't you? So for you, for when you didn't have to go to your mother-in-law anymore, you had the benefit of quality time with your partner.
Yeah.
Which was really important for you. So you have the benefits of putting things back and tidying out and keeping things in place.
Sometimes you might have to give up something, but in the end, you've got to weigh out the benefits.
Well, it's like when you clear your home out as well. You have to give things away, don't you?
You
might still want.
I don't use. How many times do I really use this item? How many? Was that your dress? How many times have you actually worn it in the last year?
That's a good point as well, because like when we give clothes away to friends or whoever it is, to charity, we find that I always think and do I like? Sometimes I want to keep things.
You do. You want to keep everything. Not sometimes.
But I think
I'm quite good at that. I'm quite good at getting in the way. Yeah.
I think what I think is, yes, how many times have I used this dress or whatever
In the past year.
in the past year? But then I also think, yes, I might have used it once, but I think if I give it away, how many times will that other person enjoy the dress?
Oh,
And then that makes me feel so good, because I think someone else is going to really love this. Whoever it is I'm giving it to. Sometimes I give it to my daughter or friends or family, whoever it is, or
they
charity.
love it, yeah.
And I think someone's really going to get a lot of enjoyment from this. So it's best with them than with me cluttering.
Exactly, yes. Whereas
When I might use it once and particularly
not really get that.
not be that mad about it
No,
anymore.
no.
Because it's had its time. Or
It's had its time. You've enjoyed it. You've lived it. It's past. It's in the past.
Yeah.
You want to create new memories, like with other dresses or whatever. Yeah, whatever it is. Other items in your house that somebody else might really thrive on.
Yeah, sometimes if I have a dress for a particular occasion, I never give it away.
No, obviously, I know that. Yeah. I mean, yes. Special.
It's a something special. But in general,
Memorabilia.
yes, in general, it's good to give away.
It is good, yeah.
Because you're helping someone else and you're also helping yourself by clearing out stuff.
Yeah, this is getting on to be quite a thoughtful process, I think. I'm going to be thinking about this mind editing.
Or how can you not think about it? It's mind.
It's it's gone in there now, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Well, what do you think? What are you going to edit out of your mind? Let us know.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see together what we. You might be able to give us some ideas as well.
I know.
If you say like, I edited this out, or I added this, because by editing out some stuff, you've got more time to add.
Yeah.
So if you edit out like going like what I did to my mother-in-law, but then you added quality time, you might be able to edit out something else you don't particularly enjoy.
Exactly.
And add something else. So it'll be nice to hear what you add as well.
What you add.
What you add. Might give us some ideas.
I know. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
If you enjoy this podcast and it helps you or your friends, let us know. And please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
or wherever you get your podcasts.
Exactly. And you can also come and see us on YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
From the English Sisters. Bye-bye.
Bye.